this month's Essay Life magazine, we're celebrating the food of Vietnam. It's one of my favourite cuisines. It's light, it's fragrant, it's tasty, and as a bonus, it's very healthy. This week, I'm going to do a beautiful pork fillet with the most fragrant dressing of lemongrass and ginger. So for this recipe, you need a pork fillet of about 400 grams, which is enough for about 4 people. With the pork fillet, I've taken off as much sinew as I can with a very sharp knife. Just strip away the sinew and leave a little bit of the fat. And then again with a sharp knife, slice that into very thin slices so that you'll end up with a bowl of beautiful pork like so. We need to marinate our pork in the simplest of marinades, which includes a grated knob of ginger, about 2 tablespoons, I imagine. Juice of half a lime and some spring onions. And it doesn't need to marinate for very long. Maybe about 10 to 15 minutes is all you need. Toss the marinade through the pork, making sure that all the slices are well covered with your fragrant ginger and lime juice. Our next step is to make a paste. We take a stalk of lemongrass, take off the green part and chop off the stalk end, and then, using the back of our knife, we're going to bang it so that we break up the fibres and make it easier to chop. We're going to combine that lemongrass with 4 cloves of garlic. Chop them all together as finely as you can so that it's a nice chunky consistency. And then that goes into our mortar and pestle. Then, using a bit of elbow grease, keep on grinding that until you have as smooth a paste as you can make it. If you haven't got a mortar and pestle, you can put this all in the food processor or just continue chopping with your knife. Start with a hot wok and add about 2 tablespoons of oil to that. Add half a teaspoon of chilli paste with soya oil and cook that a little bit in the hot oil. To that, add half a teaspoon of pepper and a teaspoon of caster sugar and just mix that all together until the caster sugar is fully dissolved. Next, we have to add our beautiful paste of lemongrass and garlic. Let that cook a little while to release all the aromatic flavours and be careful not to burn it. Now it's time for the marinated pork. With this amount, I like to do it in 2 batches because otherwise, if you do it all together, the temperature's not hot enough and it might stew. Keep moving the meat around in the wok, otherwise those small pieces of lemongrass might catch and burn. The last step is to add 2 tablespoons of sesame seed. Once again, keep them stirring so that the aroma of the sesame seed goes into the pork. So this is a typical Vietnamese dish which is stir-fried just in the minimum amount of oil so that it still retains all its beautiful freshness and remains very healthy too. So in a few minutes you can see the pork has changed colour and it's beautiful and tender. Now what we have to do is serve it on a lovely platter, and I accompany this with a Vietnamese table salad. Lovely fresh herbs, lettuce, of course some bean shoots and chilli sauce. And there it is. I wish you could smell this. It's just beautiful. You can download the pork with lemongrass and ginger from our website, and don't forget my full feature in this month's Essay Life magazine on Vietnamese cuisine.